President of the National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Mohammed Suleiman, joins me on the news at 1. Good to have you join us, Dr. Suleiman.
Thank you very much for having me, Precious. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Interestingly, we're supposed to begin that commence your strike today, but we understand there was some sort of presidential intervention, as stated in the press release that you put out there. When you say presidential intervention, what exactly did the Vice President say to get you to shelve your planned strike?
These are fathers to the nation, His Excellency the President and His Excellency the Vice President. And when we met, he made it very, very clear that all our issues are germane. He made it very, very clear that our colleagues in Lokoja will be reinstated back to Lokoja. And I can tell you there are documentations, there are decisions that have led to that now. Our colleagues are going back to Lokoja. He also directly talked about the corrected professional allowance table, the need to capture it in the budget of 2026, and also the need to implement it this January. He talked about the collective bargaining where health workers generally, not just doctors, can sit down and agree on what the remuneration for doctors and other healthcare workers will be moving forward in this country. He also talked about the excess workload, the burnout. He understood the exact thing we meant when we mentioned how our colleagues are tired and exhausted and burnt out. Some have even lost their lives. He gave us his word, not only his word, actions matched those words. And from the moment we saw him, later started flying, the things that needed to be done were done. For instance, the promotion areas of our medical officers from 2020 till date, and the salary areas of our colleagues ranging from 4 months to 20 months. This has been transmitted from the Federal Ministry of Health to the Federal Ministry of Finance. And we're in discussion with the Federal Ministry of Finance to put a date for this payment. In fact, there's a 25-35% areas that was paid last year that we have about 2,000 to 3,000 of our members that have not yet received it. His Excellency, the Vice President, made it very, very clear that this is a top priority. And to that end, the Labour Minister has already written the Ministry of Finance, the Accountant General, and copied IPPIS, because the list is ready, everything is ready, the money is available for that particular payment. So any moment from now, we're expecting that to drop. He closed our engagement with this promise that he and on behalf of His Excellency, President Asuaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, they will not disappoint resident doctors. Now, when you
Suleiman, that, just a minute, because you said a lot, and it looks like a lot has been done in a very short period of time. But even in your press statement, you still mentioned that this your move or your decision to put the strike on hold is conditional. What exactly does that mean?
Yes, His Excellency the Vice President made very clear that timelines have to be respected. There needs to be trust in the process. Our resident doctors need to be given the feeling of being understood. And that was why timelines were clearly spelled on all the issues that were agreed. And these timelines, none of them went beyond 2 weeks. And that was why the NEC considered two things: that a highly placed Nigerian like that will come down to our level to listen to our problems, one. And two, agree on timelines for these issues to be sorted out. I mean, unless we just want to be troublemakers, which we are not, because our problems are germane, it was only reasonable for the NEC to respect his intervention, to respect the intervention of the Honorable Minister of State for Health, the Minister of Labor, the Minister of Finance, even the DG of the DSS. These are people that were brought onto the table to solve these problems. And everyone agreed on these timelines. And we're going to continue pushing and following up to ensure that these things are achieved. At the January NEC, later in Plateau State, we will review the progress of what we have done. Interestingly, the Honorable Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation is our guest speaker in the National Executive Council later in Jos. So that will give us another opportunity, because he was also involved in sorting out some of these issues, to further push for more follow-up. At the end of the day, the NEC looked at it and said, yes, there are reasonable commitments. Now let's see down the line if those actions are going to be finalized.
But is there anything outstanding that hasn't been, or anything significant in some of the requests you have made that haven't been addressed?
Yes, the promotion areas for our medical officers is yet to be paid, though the compilation and transmission to Federal Ministry of Finance has happened. The 25-35%, like I mentioned earlier, we're hoping in the coming days it will also be paid. The salary areas ranging from 4 months to 20 months of some of our colleagues across 4 tertiary health institutions: Ife, Owo, Uyo, and Otupo. We are expecting that will be finalized. There's also committees set up to look at our membership certificate issue. A meeting has already been scheduled. There's also the committee that is to look at locum appointments across the country, and also this excess workload. The meetings have already been scheduled by the Ministry of Health. So these are the outstanding issues that we are hoping in the next 1 or 2 weeks it will be finalized.
All right. Well, we're following up that development. You have your NEC coming up, and we'll see how your reaction to some of the things that have been promised and if they have been fulfilled as well. Thank you so much for your time. The President of the National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Mohammed Suleiman.